What if I told you a teenager once tricked banks, airlines, and even the government without ever using a weapon? He cashed millions of dollars in fake checks, flew around the world for free, and lived like a pilot, a doctor, and a lawyer, all before turning 21 years old. And the craziest part? The government that once chased him later hired him. This is the unbelievable story of Frank Abagnale Jr. Part 1. A normal boy with an unusual talent. Frank Abagnale Jr. was born in 1948 in New York. At first, his life seemed normal, but when his parents divorced, everything changed. Frank was only 16 years old, confused, angry, and looking for a way to survive on his own. That's when he discovered something about himself. He was incredibly good at lying convincingly, and soon those lies would become one of the most famous fraud stories in American history. Part 2. The First Scam. Frank's first scam was surprisingly simple. His father gave him a credit card for gas purchases, but Frank realized something clever. Instead of buying gas, he convinced gas station attendants to give him cash in exchange for fake purchases. Within months, he had stolen thousands of dollars. But that was just the beginning. Soon, Frank moved to a much bigger crime: check fraud. Part 3. Becoming a fake airline pilot. Frank discovered something interesting. Airline pilots were trusted everywhere. Hotels gave them free rooms, airlines gave them free flights. So Frank printed a fake airline uniform. Then he created a fake pilot ID. And suddenly, a 19-year-old runaway was flying around the world pretending to work for Pan American World Airways. This trick allowed him to travel to 26 countries, all for free. But the real money came from something even bigger. Part 4. Millions in fake checks. Frank began forging checks that looked like they came from real banks. Because he traveled so often, banks believed he was a real airline pilot. And during the 1960s, bank security systems were far weaker than today. Frank used this weakness to cash more than $2.5 million in fraudulent checks across the United States. Authorities across the country began searching for him. Soon, his name appeared on America's most wanted lists, but Frank kept changing identities. At different times, he successfully pretended to be a commercial airline pilot, a doctor working in a hospital, a lawyer who passed the bar exam, all before turning 21 years old. Part 5. The FBI finally catches him. For years, law enforcement couldn't catch him, but eventually Frank made one mistake. He was recognized in France, where police arrested him. After serving time in European prisons, he was sent back to the United States. There, he faced serious charges for fraud. But something unexpected happened. Instead of keeping him locked up forever, the Federal Bureau of Investigation offered him a deal. They wanted his help. Part 6. From criminal to crime fighter. Frank understood scams better than almost anyone, so the FBI made him a consultant. His job? Teach banks and businesses how criminals commit fraud. Over the years, he helped prevent billions of dollars in financial crimes. Eventually, he became one of the world's leading experts in cybersecurity and fraud prevention. The same skills that once made him a criminal now helped protect millions of people. Part 7. Hollywood turned his story into a movie. Frank enjoyed this story of crime, deception, and redemption. Subscribe for more true crime stories from American history, because some of the most unbelievable stories